Kopi Dulu, friends, grab your coffee. It's time for our Sunday morning spread for the week to come. We'll also be talking this time about one of the most beloved traditional tarot spreads, the Celtic Cross. All of that coming right up. Well, hello again, friends. Thank you for joining me. Brian Noe with Cards of Life for our Sunday morning spread for the week to come. And some talk about a traditional tarot card spread, probably the most widely used, most famous card spread, the Celtic Cross. We'll be talking about that in just a moment. If you are new here, thanks for joining me. Please subscribe to this channel so you get all of our content when it comes out. And if y'all wouldn't mind to give me a thumbs up on this video when you get a chance, I would appreciate that. If you are a continuing, repeat offender viewer of this program, thank you for joining me again this week. I do truly appreciate it. Okay, Celtic Cross. This is the granddaddy of all tarot spreads. It is a large spread. Lots of cards, lots of information, lots of ways that the cards and the positions interact with each other and all of that. And it has been in use for over 100 years now. It was first introduced in, at least publicly and documented, by A.E. Waite in his Pictorial Key to the Tarot. Waite, of course, one of the creators of the tarot, of the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, and a member of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and all of that. And so in this little booklet, the Pictorial Key, he introduced the Celtic Cross as an ancient Celtic method of divination. Now we do know that kind of cross-shaped tarot spreads were in use in Europe, at least prior to this. And so it is possible that those had either come from, let's say, Ireland, or had kind of migrated to Ireland at some point. I think, though, and this is just a judgment call, but I think that is probably a little bit of an exaggeration on Waite's part to say that this is either ancient or Celtic. He may have heard that from someone that he learned it from. But if you know anything about the Golden Dawn, you know that they tended to try to connect their practices to old things that had some weight and some gravity and some authority other than just, hey, this looks like a good idea to me. And so this could have been Waite just sort of romanticizing the information. And or it could indeed be something quite old and something quite Celtic. We just don't know. What we do know is that this spread it has been in use since then for sure, and that lots of readers, professional readers and otherwise, routinely turn to this spread when they have got a complex issue or question that they're trying to look at. And that is because it gives you a lot of information. It gives you lots of stuff about strengths, challenges, internal and external conditions, all of the angles and aspects of a question. It can kind of give you some guidance and some ideas. And so it is a really, really good spread, especially if you're looking at a weighty question that has a lot of angles to it. It can kind of get at all of that information right there on the table. And so regardless of its origins, it is certainly useful, and that's why it's been in use all of this time. I tried pretty early on in my tarot journey to lay out a Celtic Cross, and I was not successful with it. I just didn't understand the individual cards and their meanings well enough. I also had not had enough experience working with cards in a spread and knowing how the meaning of a card relates to that position and the meaning of that position of the spread and the relationships of cards to each other within a spread and all of that. I didn't have enough fluency with either the cards or with card spreads to kind of make any sense of a large spread like the Celtic Cross. And so I kind of put that on hold for a while until I had worked with smaller spreads. And so principally that's a 3-card spread and then a 4-card spread that I work with pretty routinely here on the Sunday morning. Worked with those for months and months and months before I even attempted a Celtic Cross again. And then when I came back to it, I had enough understanding of the cards and enough understanding about how spreads work and the kind of information they can give to you that it worked a lot better for me. So if you're considering, if you've not ever used a Celtic Cross and you're considering doing it, I would say make sure that you've got the deck pretty well in your mind ahead of time. You've got a good understanding of the cards. You've got a good understanding of the particular deck that you're working with. And then also work with some smaller spreads. Start with 3-carders, past, present, future. And stick with those for a while until you get to the point where you can read those even in your sleep, and then move on to the Celtic Cross, because it is kind of ambitious. I'm going to link to, I think I can find that Waite article to link to, but I will also link to an older blog post that I wrote about this spread that will show you, have a diagram of all of the positions in the spread and what all of they mean, and some other background information and all of that for you. So if you're interested in exploring that, would maybe be a good place to start. I want to talk just a little bit about advantages and disadvantages of the Celtic Cross spread. So advantages, it gives you a lot of information from a lot of different angles. You're looking at the foundation of a person's experience. You're looking at kind of their crowning achievements. You're looking at the stuff that is jamming them up. You're looking at immediate past and immediate future. You're looking at the external environment. You're looking at their opinions and thoughts about themselves. Looking at hopes and dreams. All of this information is there, and it all relates not just to their question, but to everything else that's going on in their life, and to all of the other questions that are sitting there on the table. So it is a lot of information, lots of different angles, very rich, big picture. You get an opportunity when you're reading a Celtic Cross to really create a compelling story with the cards, which is a big part of the fun. So can be very beneficial, enlightening, and enjoyable to work with the Celtic Cross spread. Some of the drawbacks, because it gives you so much information, it can kind of be overwhelming and can create some ambiguity, and you need to have enough wherewithal and experience and fluency with the cards to be able to navigate that and to work with that, and to not be sort of thrown for a loop by just all of the information that you've got. Also, it does take some time to read a Celtic Cross, so it's not just the time that you've invested learning the skills that you need to do a good job at it, but it is also, I wouldn't even attempt one of these unless I had at least half an hour, probably 45 minutes, maybe even an hour to spend with it. So it does take some time. If you're the kind of person, though, that likes to work puzzles, or likes board games and that kind of thing, you really want to spend some time with something and explore it and enjoy it, then the Celtic Cross spread is really good for that sort of thing. And again, it's really good if someone is looking for guidance on maybe a significant change in their life, like a job change, or something going on in a relationship, or planning a geographic move or something along those lines, or beginning to work on a project. of some sort that is a major endeavor. Celtic Cross can be really, really good at getting some information out on the table that will be helpful in circumstances like that. What I think that this spread does absolutely the best, though, is holding up a mirror. So it's, as with so much of what we do with tarot, it's not a matter of looking for what's going on out there as it is what's going on in here. And the process of reading a Celtic Cross is just really good for getting at that. Sometimes the questions that we ask are really only kind of symptoms or indications of what's really going on in our hearts. And so, can we answer this question? Yeah, maybe. But the important thing is that we get to that stuff that is on the inside that really needs to be confronted and looked at carefully, and gives us an opportunity to be conscious as we move forward with whatever it is that we're doing. And this card spread does a really, really good job of that. So again, I'll link out to some material that you can explore if you would like. If you have got questions or comments, if you've worked with this spread and would like to comment on that, or if you've got questions about kind of how to proceed, or if you've tried to work with this spread and run into difficulties or challenges, please let me know. You can leave comments here with the video or pop on out to the weblog at atarotjourney.com and find my contact information there. But would love to hear your impressions, questions, thoughts, etc. Okay. We will go to the table now for our 4-card tarot reading for the week to come. Okay, welcome back to the tarot table for our tarot card reading for the week of September 21st, 2025. And we already have the cards laid out here for our 4-card energy reading. We're looking at the 4 dimensions of life: the physical, social, emotional, mental, and spiritual dimensions here. And we have one major, we have 2 court cards from the suit of cups, and we have this pip card from the suit of discs this week. So let's take these one at a time. We've got the Princess of Cups here in the physical dimension. And this is the card of open-hearted, almost naivete. Someone who is kind, soft, just very sweet and gentle and all of that kind of stuff. And looks at things pretty much the way that they seem to be. No guile at all in this Princess of Cups card. So coming as this does in the physical dimension, I think it bids us to greet what is going on at face value when it comes to things like the physical environment, physical health, financial matters, and all of that. It's, I think, a fairly auspicious card in this position. It's saying that we can relax, we can be soft, we can be kind, and we can be generous. We don't have to be waiting for the other shoe to fall. We can just simply take things as they are, enjoy them as they are. And I hope that is the case for us with this week to come. Again, this is in matters having to do with the very concrete aspects of our lives, the physical health, financial, our environment, and that sort of thing. Things that are going on around us very directly, and things that seem very solid to us, and not things that are not symbolic. In other words, or energetic. Things that are pretty much what they are. Okay, over here in the emotional social dimension, we have this 6 of discs, and Crowley styles this one success. This is the card of material gain. All of the sixes are relatively auspicious cards. They return to balance that was lost at the fives. They're bringing us back to the center of the tree of life, and so fairly good cards to see turn up. This card is the card of gain and success and things going our way, particularly materially, particularly financially. It is also the card, though, of haves and have-nots. And so coming as it does in this social, emotional dimension, I think that it is calling us to be generous this week, to be generous with the resources that we have, to be thankful for the resources that we have, and to be generous with them to our family, our friends, our neighbors, others in our community, and others in the world. So taken together with this card over here, we've got this sort of open-heartedness and taking things at face value. And over here, fairly auspicious card saying, hey, we may have some success this week, or we may recognize some success that we've already have. Let's not keep that to ourselves and be stingy with it, but let's share with others. Okay, we come up here to this death card in the mental dimension, and we have seen this card over and over and over so far this year. It is the card of usually not physical death. It usually represents some sort of transformation, dying to the old, being reborn to the new, letting something go. So there may be a loss involved here, but it's something we have to let go of anyway. And so we can see this as an opportunity to kind of remake things, to kind of move forward and to progress. And in the mental dimension of our lives, I'm getting the sense that we're holding on to something here, whether it is a paradigm or a philosophy or a belief that we've held for a long time. Could be a big framework, or it could be just a belief. And it's time to just let it go. I get the sense that we're getting clues about this. The information is right there in front of us, right there in our faces, day after day after day after day. But for some reason, we are just stubbornly holding on to something that is, first of all, not true, and second of all, no longer serving us in any way, no longer serving the broader society and world. And we need to let that go this week. If we do, it will be a monumental step forward for our continued learning and our continued growth and development as a human being. So if this is resonating with you and you want to talk about it, get in touch with me. You can either leave a comment here or pop on out to the weblog at atarotjourney.com and find my contact information. Get in touch with me that way. But if this is you, if you feel this is you, I'd love to hear what it's about. And I hope it works well for you. Okay, this Prince of Cups over here in the spiritual dimension is a bit of a puzzlement to me coming in this position, in the position of spirituality. This character, unlike sister over here, the Princess of Cups, this Prince of Cups is he keeps his cards very close to his vest. He can be very diplomatic and cordial and pleasant and all of that, but lurking underneath all of that is the wheels are always spinning. Even if you are close to this character, you may have the sense a lot of times that you don't really know what they're thinking. You don't really know who they are because they guard things so closely. And if well dignified, then this character is, you would use the word diplomatic. If ill-dignified, you would use the word deceitful. And there is a fine line there, and very easy to cross from one side over to the other, to where we believe that we are being diplomatic and cordial and trying to do the best for everyone and keep the peace, but can easily cross over to manipulation and deceit and things that, whatever our intentions are just not pretty, and would not be welcome to most of us. And so, coming as this does in the spiritual dimension, it could either be, in the spiritual dimension, we're always looking at things that call us to our best natures and our best selves. And so on the positive side here, it is an encouragement to approach people in a diplomatic way, to try our best to keep peace, to try our best to bring unity and harmony into the situations that we encounter this week and into the relationships that we're involved with this week. On the flip side of that, it is a warning against being manipulative, a warning against even small deceits, things that in the big scheme of things may seem insignificant, but every time we slip into that realm, then it damages us more than even if it's never found out, even if it doesn't really do any great harm to others. We are damaging ourselves, because the less we are committed to truth, the less we can see clearly, the less we can live in truth. And that then comes back around in blind spots, things that we just don't see that we really need to see. And so I would say the overall message here is, let's be diplomatic, but let's do it in a way that is truthful, is wholesome, is honest, not just good intentions, but also making sure that we are committing ourselves to the truth, while we act as kind and as diplomatic as we can. So, an interesting card spread this week. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Well, I hope that was interesting and gives you some food for thought for the week to come. I appreciate, once again, you joining me this week for our show. If you've got any comments, please leave them here, or go on out to the weblog and find my contact information there. We will be back again with another one of these, probably again next Sunday. I took the week off last week. I'm not planning to do that often, but it may happen from time to time. But plan to be here next Sunday. If not, whenever we are back, I hope we'll see you again. And in the meantime, as always, I wish you peace. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye now.